mate, the amount of times when we would have our fights, people would come back and forth, and then after the fight's done, this always happens. After the fight is done, you get back together. She would go, "Oh, do you know Jordan was saying this about you? Do you know Heath? Do you know? Well, Heath.
You don't want to hear that.
Heath told me this," and I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about?"
Yeah.
And there'd be some times where maybe you wouldn't tell them what their friends have told you, which is even
and you
more
almost
toxic.
see the true colours really come out as well, because it's sort of like, it sucks, but it's almost a reality check. You're like, well, I really thought I could have trusted you, but clearly, I'm not going to tell you anything anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Morokaii with 2 eyes. We are back. We're on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. I'm going to start off with a brutal topic.
Yeah, all right, far away.
This is actually, it's kind of mean.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Man, there was a couple of times through high school,
Yes.
and even after high school, where I would be really excited for an event. It could be a sleepover. We could be going to the drive-ins. We could be going somewhere to eat. Could be anything. And so with a group of people.
Yes.
And there's that one person who somehow has found their way into the group, and you can't kick them out, so they ruin the vibe.
Yeah, but they're constantly there, lingering like a bad smell.
They're always there. And I feel really bad for those type of people because they just don't...
They're not aware.
They don't know how to mesh, and I guess they haven't found their group. So I can fully understand why you'd want to then attach yourself to something so you're not alone, because it's very hard to be alone. I think that's one of the best strengths you can have as a human, is to enjoy your own time.
Most definitely.
And not worry about what other people think. You can go for a walk by yourself. You can play video games by yourself. There's certain activities that you're happy to do by yourself. But through high school and growing up, it's very hard, especially if you don't have many friends.
Almost, and you're always seeing people playing around with one another, and being a teenager as well. You're always on like a Facebook or so seeing everything. You're like, well, I want that.
Man, I remember in high school, I think it was at the very start, before our groups joined together. I had a very, very tiny group, very tiny, and where I was from, I was ages away, so I didn't catch up with them too much. And if I saw a party on Facebook, I'd actually feel like shit. I'd be like, oh, I'm not there.
Genuine FOMO.
Yeah.
Like actual FOMO.
It sucks. And I was kind of like, I wish I was somehow invited to these. But also, if I look back now, I go, you wouldn't have got along with those people.
Yeah, I'm the exact same.
Like, in reality, you would not have got along with those people. So it's funny how it works. You kind of just have to be yourself and find other people that just mesh well with you as well. But yeah, it is a bit of a... Because I'm going to go to the brutal side now.
Yep.
I'm going to be just blatantly
just
honest.
Straight up honest.
There was times where when we would go out, there would be a person in the group, and it could be anyone, or there might be a couple, where if they've attached themselves to the wagon, it is now less enjoyable.
Yeah, and you're almost like...
There's jokes you guys make that everyone's laughing at, memories, and they somehow chime in, and then you're just like, yeah. And it sucks.
Yeah, and the memories that they're bringing up have nothing to do with the group either.
Oh, it's
them with like their family friends when they were like away for the weekend or something like that. And you're like, what?
Man, the energy is
What do you mean?
The energy is just so different.
I completely agree with that.
But if I think on the other side, and if I was that person and I was really just trying to make friends, but my personality just did not mesh, and I think you make more of those friends way after high school.
Yeah, agreed.
You somehow find those groups. Like if maybe you, I don't know, maybe you like going to a card shop and that's kind of your thing, then you're going to find those people there. Maybe you like online gaming. You're going to find other people that are like that. But through high school, when you're with kids all the time, you want to attach yourself to a group. Yeah, no,
most definitely.
And it would be very hard. But fuck me, man. There's some people who just don't mesh.
No, you're spot on. You've genuinely hit the nail on the head. Just some people are just there, and genuine background, like actual real life background characters. Like that sounds extremely harsh, but like they're just constantly, and you're like, this person's everywhere, but like, not in a dick way, but like they just don't add anything.
And somehow they invite themselves to everything.
Yeah. You guys going to? I didn't cop an invite. Like it'd be pretty cool if I. So then you almost feel bad as well because I didn't. So it's like, better.
And man, some of them, it's the worst case because they can be very nice.
Yeah.
They can literally be so nice, but you just, you don't want them around your group. And I was like, okay, you know what could be a good idea? Let's throw ideas back and forth to each other. If we were chucked in high school,
yeah,
what would your plan be?
If you want,
if you wanted to mesh in, you're not ready yet to have your alone time. You really want to be part of something. How would you attach yourself to that group without being that guy?
I think you just sounds bad because you don't want to like copy them, but almost like try to like find out like, all right, that maybe they're really into like footy,
yeah,
or something like that, and try and mesh with them that way. Like at least like try to form like some sort of general interest in their hobbies, so that way you can like at least spark a conversation.
Definitely,
I guess like that way.
If someone's not ready to just be alone, be by themselves, and kind of figure out the world as it goes, I honestly would say be a bit fake and like what they like.
I think you sort of have to.
Because if your whole goal is to make friends and you don't want to be alone, then maybe just kind of mesh with what they mesh with themselves.
Yeah.
If you're trying to go on about, again, maybe a card shop, you love trading cards, and they're all footy boys, then it's just not going to match.
Yeah, no, you're spot on.
And one of the worst things, this would happen all the time. If a funny joke is going around and everyone's laughing and having a good time, and there's a couple of people who are saying a memory, they're throwing it back and forth and they're telling a story, and you jump in and cut off that story. Don't ever do that.
Just let it play out. Laugh with them.
Yeah.
Act like you were there.
Man, that's
even
so
if they
true.
bring up a memory and you weren't there, just laugh. Just play along.
Oh, definitely. If you weren't there, definitely don't chime in.
Because there is nothing worse than when, like, someone wasn't there for that, and you're all like, you weren't there.
Yeah, and you've just...
what are you doing?
Somehow the vibes are up here, and it's actually taken a hit.
Cloud 9, 10, and then just skyrockets down. It's just, it's
don't get me wrong. I understand it is brutal, but I think the way, if that's your goal, is to just... I always thought back in high school, if I was to have no friends... There was a couple of times I thought this. I was like, okay, just be the nice guy.
Yeah, most definitely.
Be the nice guy.
People gravitate towards that at some stage.
Just be the guy that no one can say a bad thing about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't... I've met some people where they are that person and you think, oh, they're great. And then when you get to know them, they start talking shit about other people behind their back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't be both of them. You really can't. You can't be
play
nice.
Devil avocado.
Yeah, you can't. And then... when you get to know someone, then start talking shit. It doesn't work. You're known as that nice guy. We had people.
Don't build a reputation like that. It's not good.
Because we knew people in high school where they were genuinely known for just being nice and not saying a bad word about anyone. That's a great thing to be said about.
Yeah. It most definitely is. And I think another one as well, when you're in high school, granted, because I sort of did it quite a lot, is if you have mates that are in a relationship. And say like your mate is like either say the guy or the girl, like depending on like whoever you are. If your mate's a guy, get along with like their partner, but don't like if there's like dramas going on between themselves. Don't be back and forth between. Don't ever get stuck in that situation.
Oh man,
just stick to your person.
Yeah,
don't try to play both sides of the fence because it doesn't end well, and then you get involved as well.
Man, I would remember.
Like it's so much easier to just. Honestly, or just don't get involved at all. Yep. Don't even ask.
Perfect thing to say. If you're mutual friends with both, like you like them both and you have a good relationship, easy way to say it. Hey, look, I don't want to be in the middle of these two. I hope you work it out, but I'm not going to talk badly about her and him.
Yeah, the best way to go.
I'm going to let you guys do your own thing. I hope you understand. That is the easiest and best way to go, because I had this when I was in a relationship, because in our big group, I had a girlfriend that was in that group. Mate, the amount of times... when we would have our fights, people would come back and forth, and then after the fight's done, this always happens. After the fight is done, you get back together. She would go, "Oh, do you know Jordan was saying this about you? Do you know Heath? Do you know? Well, Heath.
You don't want to hear that.
Heath told me this," and I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about?"
Yeah,
and there'd be some times where maybe you wouldn't tell them what their friends have told you, which is even more toxic. And you almost like
see like the true colours really come out as well, because. It's sort of like, it sucks, but it's almost a reality check. You're like, well, I really thought I could have trusted you, but clearly, like, I'm not going to tell you anything anymore. Man, and all that, like, it sucks. It sucks, but, like, I don't know, I feel like in high school as well, like, it was just bad, because everyone just wants the goss.
Oh, of course they do.
Like, if you like, you want to be in the know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to miss out. You don't want to, like...
What is with that there's something, like, exciting about hearing...
It is, and they're like spreading it as well.
Man, again, you know how we're talking about just be that nice guy. There's some guys and girls out there that I remember now and in high school that they just hate drama. Like they hate it. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't want to talk about it. If it's getting talked about, they just go, "Oh my fucking god, can we move on to like footy or netball or what's happening with English class? Could be anything." But those people are few and far between. Everyone wants to know the gossip.
I feel like everyone, but it's so funny because now the terminology, now that we're a bit older as well, it's like, I'm too old for this high school bullshit. I'm too old for this high school drama and all that. But it's fun because back then, and I know, like I was far from perfect, but I always wanted to like, oh man, did you hear this?
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't true,
Really?
like it was secondhand information that I'm then just force feeding stuff. So then when shit does hit the fan, it's like, man, why the hell did you say that? It's like, oh no, but it doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, Lee, you were the one that said it.
Yep.
It's like, no, I got given that, like, yeah, I fucked up, like I shouldn't have said anything.
Yep.
But I'm going to sec, like, yeah.
It can come back around
Oh,
very
it can,
hard.
and it can bite you real bad.
Yeah, I would always say if you're like me and you, if I became friends with, like good friends with your girlfriend, never ever, to anyone out there, I should never ever in any way be talking shit about Lee in a negative light to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
No matter what they're going through, ever. If they're going through a fight, could be anything, it's not good because first off it will come back. But if not, I in my head have always thought that person, the reason they're doing that is because they want to sleep with that person. I can't think of any other reason. Why would you go behind your friend's back? It's maybe you want a bit more approval from that person, or
I think as well, like if I was ever in a situation, vice versa with yourself too. If like from the outside looking in, it's like I can see maybe there's some. Instead of speaking to like speak directly to like your mate and just be like, mate, I just want to like I think you're a bit hard. Like, do you really need to do that? Just pull them on, have like a real like D&M sort of chat, like and just be like, wait, maybe just back up. Like,
it's hard with communication, isn't it?
It can be, but I would, man, like if for whatever reason, like I was having an argument with my missus and I was telling you about it, I would much rather you just be like, man, like you really think like. Oh, no, like I just feel like they're...
If it was too brutal to
like
call you
like
out.
Like I would much rather you just be like, man, like what you did, like it's not...
You're out of line.
Yeah, like pull your head in, like what
That's
are you doing,
hard
mate?
for a lot of people.
It is, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with age. You sort of just grow up a bit, but it can still be quite difficult. But I would much prefer that than just my mate sitting there and being like, oh, this isn't good. Like,
I'm going to let it go.
Like, like just let me know. Like, yeah.
Yeah. That's with it's like with cheating when people they know but they don't say anything. But how can you really say anything to?
No, well, I was seeing something somewhere. Oh, Love Island.
Yep. How
that person was like, oh, have you ever cheated? It's like, nah, my mate did, and I gave him 5 days and all that. And all the girls were like, oh, that's and I was like, 5 days is still a pretty large window, though.
Yeah,
like,
gave him 5 days to admit what he's done.
To come forward.
I don't know if that's real.
I feel like that's got to be just a play.
If someone gave me, I've given you like that show 24, a countdown of when I'm going to tell you, what the fuck kind of...
mate, 4 days.
What kind of double 07 shit is this? Yeah.
Like tomorrow's just Saturday, so you're not even seeing them. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. If someone's ready to do that to their friend, do you think that if out of the blue, I've seen this on TikTok or YouTube, maybe someone's at a baseball game and they're sitting down and behind them, they're actually seeing the person in front of them's phone. And on the phone, it's saying like, I can't wait to see it, even though they're with their wife or husband, and they post that online. Is that this? I don't understand. If you're someone who can post that online, because sometimes it's really dirty messages too that they're posting and revealing of this person. I really don't get how, if you're fine to do that, why you can't tap the person on the shoulder right there and say, hey, he's cheating. If you're prepared to post it to millions of people and have that backlash, how can you not be prepared to say it to one?
Exactly. No,
the most
so spot on.
The most important one.
The most important
comes back
one.
to you wanting attention.
Yeah.
There's when videos come out online that I guess we could say are career enders. There's a good example that I love that has come up in Australia. I think it was a few months back. In Oz, we get they have, what's it called, like a Mad Footy Monday or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when footy season ends, there's a lot of clubs that
Mad Monday.
They have a fucking
I know exactly where you're going with
belter.
this.
They have an absolute
they go
belter.
All out.
Oh, all out's an understatement. It's just nothing but footy boys just doing,
dumb shit,
drugs,
actually
drugs
dumb
on
shit.
dumb shit and alcohol, and just drugs on dumb shit and alcohol, dumb shit on drugs and alcohol, and there's just that many stories of people, their relationships ending, just strippers get called, all this stuff. One of these videos came out where a team was at a pub, and as a dare, as a dare, one guy blew his mate. And I think it would have been just your classic, just put in your mouth and back and forth and you're done. So it's not like he actually gave a full-on job.
Yeah, but still.
And I read in
but still a dare, though. Like, what?
Oh, I read
the guy's on his knees just going for it.
I read in the article that there was, like, patrons eating their lunch, like their pub meal. Like, it wasn't just the footy boys that have rented out a room. There was a few people. Anyway, that guy who, I don't know either one. I don't know if it's the one that got blown or the one that
was doing the blowing.
Yeah. One of their wives, once they saw the video, left him.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Okay, so that's huge, right?
That's massive.
Because this stuff happens on the footy, what's it called? Mad Mondays?
Yeah, Mad Mondays.
Mad Mondays all the time, but that stuff
maybe not
doesn't
to that degree.
Well, no, I'm saying it doesn't get released.
It's a fair call.
It doesn't get released. Some people don't. I think...
it's sort of the classic saying, like, whatever happens on a footy trip stays on the footy trip.
I hate that.
And all that. And I'm like, well, depending on what you did, though. Hang on a sec. Like, mate, if you're married with, like, children...
And you've cheated
like, that's pretty fucked.
Where do you actually get off? How's your conscience get off?
Yeah, I don't get it.
But, man, those online videos can really go crazy and ruin people. Like, that guy, that video... Now, his name, if someone types his name in...
It's there.
It's there forever.
Yep.
Very hard to come back from.
Oh, extremely hard to come back from.
And I'm wondering if I've seen it before. What happens when those people kill themselves? And I know that's a massive jump.
It is, but that's also the reality.
But it 100% is the reality.
Because everything's pretty much taken away now. Like, you're embarrassed not just by, like, a couple of mates, by the general public itself.
And you feel like you'd never be able to...
Exactly. You can't. How do you live that down?
And we don't know the specifics of what happened at his job as well. I know if I did that, I'm fired.
Yeah.
I'm actually fired. There's no way I can get brandings done. If that would happen to someone, their whole world could be crumbling around them and they could think, how do I rebuild? Then if they end them, like, kill themselves, who do you reckon in that scenario feels bad? Do you think the person who filmed it and uploaded it, which was meant to be private, feels bad? Because I don't know if the person who films it, uploads it, sends it to a certain group, and then in that group, they then share
hard
it.
To say. So you'd like to think that you'd have a guilty conscience, but some people might just be like, oh, well, like, that was his choice or her choice at the end of the day. Like, I didn't do that. It's like,
the ones that
but I feel like it's a bit of a private, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I think that's such a dangerous thing as well. Like, the world where everyone's got a camera and a phone with them.
Oh,
everyone's always recording. Car crash, recording. Instead of calling for help, oh, look at this car crash. Yeah. It's raining outside. Oh, look at the rain outside. Like, you know what I mean?
Mate, have you seen that video of Drew Barrymore when she's, like, going out in the rain? She's like, I can't believe I'm in the rain.
No, that sounds terrible.
I hated it.
That sounds terrible.
I hate it. She's out in the rain just saying, oh, enjoy life. And there's something about when people do that. I'm just like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Agree.
And they're just, I don't know if there's good intentions there or not for her. Like, I don't know if it's genuine, but if it is, what is it about that when people are just like, shut the fuck up?
It's the same, man. Anytime there's a storm in Melbourne, you log onto Facebook, oh, it's a good day to be a duck, like, all the time. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. And I see the same status, like, it's stormy outside, just in case you went, really? Oh, no, I've only been working outside all day. I wouldn't have had a clue how the weather is.
It's stormy outside.
Like,
do you know it's actually a fact that when people have nothing to talk about, they talk about the weather?
Really?
And I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah, I've never understood when, like, you see those movies or whatever, and they're like, oh, how's it? When has anyone ever used that?
How's the weather?
Day? Yeah, sort of thing. Like,
I've never done that.
Or just in general conversation. Like, also, like, bloody hell, it's hot today. But that's about it.
I might bring up the floods that fucked up my house.
Well, that's a fair point.
Then I might be like, oh, it's a bit drizzly.
Yeah. Oh, a bit wet outside, mate. Well, clearly you can visibly see that. Like,
find something better to talk about.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
It's so stupid.
It's just dumb.
Anyway, guys, that was Morokaii with 2 eyes. Thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. And if you get the chance, leave us 5 stars on Spotify. Feel free to jump over to YouTube if you want the video version. And I hope you guys have an awesome day.
Like, comment, subscribe. Boom.
Boom.